Hello, everybody, and welcome to my podcast, Just Delphine Knits. This is a special episode all about the socks that I have been knitting in 2022. First of all, I want to give you my best wishes for 2023, and I hope you have a really nice year. I have been recording this episode yesterday, but there is some background zooming. I don't know what it caused. I think it's my microphone, and I changed location to film this. But I will cut some things in between which don't have the essential text, and I hope it's still bearable. So please bear with me and have fun with this episode. I promised you to have this episode filmed between the holidays, but I got ill, so that didn't work out. But today, I could stop early from work, and I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to film a podcast for you. Let's talk about socks in 2022. So, first of all, I want to start with a fail. You have seen these ones in my previous sock episode, halfway 2022, and they already had felt it a little bit on my feet. But this sock, or one of the two, has gotten into the washing machine, just a regular 30 degrees washing cycle, and it's a baby sock. So I throw these away the night after filming this. Um, it's not that I feel really bad about it because they already had felt it at my feet and weren't perfectly fitted anymore, so it's not the biggest loss. It was supposed to be superwash yarn, so the label was definitely not right. So, just a little fail. But now, all the socks I've knitted in 2022, and this is only what I've knitted for my husband. There will be more for myself later on. So let's start. This is something you haven't seen before, but well, not finished anyway. These are the DK weight socks of Crazy Sock Lady. It's a free pattern, so go and check it out. It was more or less too dense to knit with it on this gauge, although it was the gauge that the pattern that ball band said. But now that it has been washed once, it feels much softer and better. So I do think it needs a wash. They're only worn once, so they're still perfectly in good shape. So I'm not able to tell you a lot about how they will hold on because, yeah, they're still new. We'll put them back in the baskets. Second are these socks. I gifted them for Advent to my husband, so they are worn quite a bit since actually, but not a complete year. This is Katya Tokyo yarn. It's my favorite yarn, which I will tell you more about later, but he also appears to like them a lot. It's a short row heel, and I just washed them on the wool cycle, 30 degrees, and they are still perfect. So this is a hit actually for him. It also appears that the short row heel is his favorite heel to wear, although he just doesn't really mind, but yeah, if he has the choice between different socks in his drawer, he will take these. Next up is a toe-up sock. I've only knitted 2 pairs of toe-up socks, which I want to change in 2023, but I'm still looking for the perfect toe-up pattern. This is Lang Yarn socks, and the disadvantage is they have grown a huge amount while wearing and washing them. So yeah, not the biggest fan of the yarn, but they're really soft. So yeah, he still likes them and he wears them, but well, he doesn't really wear them that much because they are a little bit sloppy at his feet. Then next is the only non-superwash yarn I've used, which is Mondim. And these are the meditation socks of Sarah K. Knits, by the way. And I don't like superwash yarn, non-superwash yarn, because for socks, for garments I don't mind, but for socks I don't like them because socks, they start felting at your feet when you're using non-superwash yarn. And I also want to have the convenient option of just putting them in the washing machine because socks have to be washed a lot, whereas garments don't. So that's a disadvantage. So now the four other socks. So these are Regia with a short row heel. I wash them again wool cycle, They are still fine, only a little bit of felting. Then another Regia pair, perfect again. He has gifted me this yarn for my birthday. Um, this is a heel flap and gusset, and yeah, I do notice that he doesn't wear them as much, although the yarn is the same. Another pair. This is opal yarn. And although this is also a basic sock yarn that has been known by a lot of people, I do notice at the heel that this has felted more compared to the Regia yarn. So I would say that the Regia yarn is better, but opal is perfectly fine as well. So I would just say Regia is more sturdy. The pair I want to show you of my husband's socks is this one. I've used an afterthought heel that fits him also really, really good. This is durable socks yarn with Yawol yarn for the accents. Durable socks yarn seems to be pretty fine as well. But yeah, I only gifted these the fourth Advent Sunday, so they are not worn that much yet. Concerning the toe, for both of us, I really like the toe. Well, I will just explain it because I know it's different patterns, they call it differently. So you have the toe where you first decrease after 4 rounds, then after 3 rounds, 3 rounds, 3 times 2 rounds, and then every round. So that's the one I prefer actually for both of us. So those are the 8 socks I've made for my husbands. Okay, so you have seen the socks I've knitted for my husband. Now it's time to show you my own socks. Okay, it's a full box, almost full actually. So there are only 3 empty spots. I really enjoy wearing hand knitted socks. It's also a great way to try out different yarn and color combinations that might be too bright to use on a garment. So I really like socks. First of all, I want to show you some socks that have not gotten a lot of wear because they quite recently finished. These are the Jagged Little socks in Filcolana Arvetta. I really like that yarn. I really like that pattern. I only worn them a few times, so I can't really tell you on the long term how they will hold, but I just love them. It's an afterthought heel, which is not my favorite heel for myself, but on colorwork socks it's fine because they are more tight around the ankle, so it doesn't move around my feet, which it does if I use this heel on a vanilla sock. So that's that. Next is the Scrappy Stripy socks of Crazy Sock Lady in Yawol yarn. They were meant for my husband, but apparently the Yawol yarn doesn't stretch as much as the Regia yarn, and I had used a Regia sock to measure the length of the sock he needed, because this was a surprise and it's too short. So just kept them myself. They are worn, but not a hell of a lot because I only gifted them a few weeks ago in December to my husband, so I only wore them afterwards. So you will also have to wait until next year to wait how they will hold up. Heel flap and gusset, which is my favorite heel for myself. Then DK weight socks from the Crazy Sock Lady. They were meant to be for my husband's, but they don't fit. I don't know why I made them that short, but they don't fit. But it fit perfectly for me. And they have been worn once, but you can't even see it. It's Lana Grossa tweed yarn, and they are just perfect. So I would really recommend that yarn so far. They have only been worn once because they are quite recently, they recently found their way to my cupboard, so I will give you more details next year. Then some hand-dyed yarn. This is hand-dyed yarn from Ginger and Time, a Belgian shop, and it's also their pattern, the Marguerite socks, which is a ribbed sock. You see that I've worn them. On the heel there is some felting, but actually, yeah, I have worn them quite a lot, so it's pretty fine, and it's really soft and I love them. So would really recommend both the yarn and the pattern. Next are these socks, which are Katya Tokyo socks. Just a plain vanilla sock with a short throw heel, which is not my favorite heel, but the socks are so perfect that I just still love them. These are my most worn socks this year, also because I finished them in January. But they can be worn in my boots, and you don't even see that they have been worn so much. So I really, really like that yarn, and I still have some for next year, so that's great. Because I liked them so much, I used a leftover until the last meter to make some scrappy shorties. This is a pair from a pattern from Delphine Knits, and I really, really love them. These are also for my walking boots in the summer, like I have shorter walking shoes then. Love them. Next are also shorties with a ruffle from Summerlee, but they have felt a little bit on my feet, so they shrunk, which means that the ruffle comes lower on my ankle, which is broader, and it doesn't ruffle that much when I have it on my feet. So I want to make this again and then make a larger leg part to make sure that the ruffle stays up. The yarn is great to wear, but not so great to knit with. It feels like a thread instead of a yarn. It's Mylan White Flamingo, so with cotton in. So if anybody has a really great summer yarn, please let me know. And then these are the second pair of the Julia yarn that has been thrown, well, it will be thrown away. It's the meditation socks. They have filled it at my feet, so the fit isn't perfect anymore, but these are still wearable, I would say. But the label was definitely not right. This is not non-super. This is not superwash yarn, so I don't buy there anymore. This is the Magic Loop pattern of Miriam Molenbeek. It has been worn a lot. You see it at the heel, but it's still pretty fine. It's Lang Yarns socks, the Berlin colorway. Which is great because actually we wanted to go to Berlin but we didn't. So it's a great way to travel via your socks. Love them. Some more hand-dyed yarn. This is from Atelier Wool Based. I have used a contrasting heel, which is a 4/8 heel, and with these socks you notice that it starts to travel around my feet. But I really like the hand-dyed yarn. It was a surprise colorway, so I would never have picked purple and yellow together, but it's actually really my favorite color so far. And I had enough to make a second pair. So all contrasts for these are Yawol yarn. And then summer socks again from the Regia. These are toe up. The fit is, they are really thick, so I really don't like how they feel at my feet, but I do like the colorway, so that's a great thing. And then colorwork, my first colorwork socks from Socks Mix in the Yawol yarn. I don't really like how the yarn worked out. Since then, I have switched from Magic Loop for colorwork to 9-inch circulars, so that's a big advantage for me to knit better in colorwork. And I've also noticed that other yarns work better for colorwork. As, for example, the Filcolana is better. But this is also Yawol and it works fine because the contrast is better. It's the jagged little socks. They have a longer leg because these are the Advent socks and I needed enough jags. But they have only been worn once because they only have been finished around Christmas. But I like them. I like full-on colorwork socks because they feel warmer. And then my last finished pair for 2022 are these. It's a pure vanilla sock and it's made in Berlin yak yarn from Mylan White's Lana Grossa. So soft, really, really soft. So I made this when I was sick because it's pure vanilla knitting, no thinking involved, and that's exactly what I needed. So that's really lovely. So those are all my socks of 2022. I will add a little clip at the end of all the sock yarn I've put together for 2023. I haven't started yet on these yarns, but I was planning to, but I just started other things. But I did already film it, and I don't have a lot of time today to refilm it, so we'll just add that clip in the end. I only have 2 pairs of socks left for you, and these are the socks I made before 2022. This is lang yarn socks for my husband made in 2021. They have also stretched a lot, but they all get a lot of wear, so it's fine. And then my very first pair of socks, which is starting to wear out in 2020 in Regia yarn. Yeah, it has felt it a huge time. Um, it has been repaired at the toe already, so we'll see how long it lasts. Okay, so those are all my socks. What do I have to tell you? So if you want to know favorites, my favorite way of knitting socks is 9-inch circulars because it's the most easy way, especially for color work because you don't have floats that are like between your needles. So that's perfect for me. I also knit a little bit looser on 9-inch circular, so that's great for color work as well. And for pure vanilla knitting is the best way to knit in the car. Apart from that, I can knit on Magic Loop, I can knit on DPNs. I only dislike my Haya DPNs because they are too sharp and yeah, they hurt my hands. My favorite heel for myself is heel flap and gusset. For my husband, a short row heel or an aftertop heel. And the toe is the one at which you have first after 4 rows a decrease, then 3, then 2, then 1. So like the gradual decrease, though I would say. I have a lot of sock plans this year because I just so much like to wear knitted socks. I really had to force myself to wash them all and put them in these baskets and don't wear them. So I'm really looking forward to wear them tomorrow again. Podcast wise, I will keep you updated via my regular podcasts, of course, but I also plan to film 2 special ones if I have time soon, which is one I already promised a long time ago about my no frill sweaters, and then one about my yarn no buy challenge, in which, I'm still making an inventory of my yarn stash, and it's huge, so I cannot buy any yarn. Apart from yarn, I need to finish something else. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any more questions, please drop them below and see you soon. So hello everybody. As you might already know by now, because I would have filmed an introduction before, I am filming the sock episode in several pieces. We both got ill in the beginning of the week, so I wasn't able to film then. And I'm still knitting on some socks I want to finish before the end of the year, so my knitting plans changed a bit. But I really want to show you my box full of yarn for 2023. There is 12 skeins of sock yarn in, and I really want to knit on this in 2023. But I want to start the 1st of January, so I won't be able to film my sock plans and my knitted socks of 2022 in one episode. So that's why I'm filming this in 2 separate parts. I'm just in the living room without a microphone, so I hope it works out fine. But I know if I use my microphone here, it picks up the noise of the streets too much, and you won't be able to hear me, but you will be able to hear everything else. For those wondering, it's quite a chilly day today, and my mom gifted me this poncho to knit underneath for Christmas, so that's what I'm wearing. So let's see what's in my box. There's 6 skeins for me and 6 for my husband. They're all brands I really like, so let's see. First is some opal yarn for myself. It's the Wanderlust collection with pinks. I have only used opal for my husband until now, so this will be my first opal socks for myself. Next is also for myself, super socks from Lang Yarns. It's the colorway Copenhagen. We wanted to go to Copenhagen, but we didn't manage to, so that will be a lovely one. I have some Berlin socks. I will show you in my other overview part, but this is the same yarn actually, and I like them. another one for myself, my most favorite yarn so far, the Katya Tokyo socks in a beautiful red. This is the same yarn I bought from for my knitting friend for our advent swap. Next up is Atelier Het Wool-Based, which is a cotton blend. So it's cotton, 44% wool, 42% cotton, 14% nylon. So I would love to try this one for spring socks. Then this lighter one from Atelier Sopra. And to end with, I have another one of Katya Tokyo socks. So those are the 6 skeins for myself. Now the ones for my husband. Super socks as well, with some lovely bright colored stripes. Then Perfect from Regia. His Regia socks are the ones he wears most often. He takes them just without me telling him to take them, so this will be perfect for him. Some opal yarn. Then some hottest socks ever from Rico. Some BFL sock from Atelier Het Wool-Based, which is a lovely brown. And some hand-dyed yarn from Ginger and Thyme. So this is my box full of yarn for 2023. Every leftover will go back in the box, and it's meant I would really like to finish all leftovers by the end of 2024. So let's see with what amount of leftovers we end the year with next year.